back in the 70s. Anyway, we had 11 stores all over California and one in Arizona. And I went and lived in each city for a while.
Oh, that's cool.
And over the stores I've gotten going, you know. What year were you born?
90. Yeah, I didn't think.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get the knowledge, man.
Out in the stores, we were buying tailgates, right? From Flint & Stone, the truck people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one day, old man Stone himself, walking into our Downey store, said, they want to see who was buying all these pumps. They wouldn't put them on a truck. And that was before anybody made these squares, so we had to either find them, surplus. Used a lot of waterman dumps back then.
Okay.
In Japan, they have a law. When you buy a new car, you know what you gotta do?
What's that?
When your engine gets so many thousand miles on it, you gotta take it out and put a new engine in there.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of surplus engines sold back to us was only like 50,000 miles on, something like that.
Okay.
Well, the same thing went for the airplanes. All the dumps we got back in the day were surplus because on a plane, they only allowed so many flight hours on a dump,
Yeah.
on a pump, to take it up another one in there. So, how'd you get into lowriding?
Lowrider bikes. In Cleveland, there was a shop called Fantasy Toys. Got into lowrider bikes. There was like a small tricycle, probably 95, 94. But at that time, I'm 4 or 5 years old. And I see a bike with a stereo, and I'm like, that's interesting. I wait a couple years, and then I get into it.
That's funny.
Mike Lopez, I'm part of his bicycle club, which was Finest Creations.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I got into it. In the bike world, we look at the older accessories because we were looking at Schwinn's. So we look at all the OG accessories and kind of how things were done back in the day. And I think that's why I'm interested in the aircraft setups, because that just transitioned from the bike world into the car world. We would look for like OG, like whatever was Schwinn that came out of Chicago that wasn't Chinese, because the same issues that are in the car world are in the bike world, like Chinese manufacturing, copying tons of parts, and then it doesn't become the same quality. Chrome's not as good. Overall, just quality isn't as good. And then the other thing is it's mass produced, so every guy on the street has it. You open a catalog, I order this, guess what? Everyone on the street has it.
What's funny is when they come up with they got the thing when they take a tailgate and make it look like an aircraft pump.
Correct. And that, honestly, as I mentioned to you, I almost went that route. Before John reached out to me, there was a guy, he's out of Hamilton, Ohio, which is southern Ohio, and he was selling a setup. I was like, hey, I'm interested in this. What do you have going on with it? Like, it was a huge tank, like a huge reservoir. And I think it was 3 motors, but it hadn't been overhauled. I don't think there were dumps. I think it was just motors and a huge tank. And then John reached out to me. He was like, hey, you're interested in this stuff? And I said, yeah. And then kind of went from there, because originally I was going to have Hoppos rebuild a setup that looked similar, but it was liftgate. And then I kept reaching out to them, and I was like, hey, do your gears sound like aircraft gears? And they would never reply. And I like the overall quality of stuff that they do, but they wouldn't respond to that question. And that was the big thing. If you're going aircraft, you're obviously going for the sound. That's one of the major components. And they just can never give me a straight answer. So I talked to John, and I sent him a picture of that setup that Mike did. I said, hey, Hoppos is going to make this for me, but it's going to be liftgate. And they just don't know. I don't know if it's gonna sound the same. And then from there, he was like, dude, just I'll get you in touch with Ted. And then that's when you reached out to me.
Here's what you gotta remember. A lift gate, we used to steal them off trucks.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, I was breaking pins, burning out armatures all the time. The thing is, a lift gate is manufactured on a truck, right?
Correct.
And not if, but when it breaks, you can't get the refrigerator off the truck or get the couch back on the truck.
Yeah.
So you get it fixed, right? Aircraft, if it breaks, plane comes down. It don't break.
Yeah.
It don't break.